The evening light filtered through Emma's apartment windows, casting long shadows across the hardwood floors. At 28, she'd finally created the kind of life she wanted. Quiet, intentional, hers. No drama, no chaos, no unwanted surprises. Tonight, staring at her phone screen, she was about to discover just how fragile that peace really was. You know that feeling when someone you love decides they know what's best for you? When they take your clearly stated boundaries and crush them under the weight of their good intentions. This is the story of my 29th birthday, the one I didn't attend. My sister threw me a surprise party despite my explicit requests not to, but that wasn't the worst part. The worst part was who she invited to ambush me back into a relationship I'd barely survived leaving. Let me tell you what happened. Before we begin, tell us in the comments from which city are you watching. And at the end, do not forget to rate this story from 0 to 10. Enjoy the story. I've never been big on birthdays. Don't get me wrong, I don't hate them. I'm not one of those people who gets depressed when another year passes. I just prefer something low-key. Dinner with my closest friends, maybe a film at home, a bottle of wine split 3 ways while we laugh about nothing important. Something small, something mine. Everyone close to me knows this, especially my sister Maya, who is the complete opposite. Maya loves grand gestures. She believes every birthday, every achievement, every minor life event needs balloons, a color-coordinated theme, a guest list that requires a spreadsheet, and at least 3 surprises. We're different that way, always have been. Growing up, Maya was the one who threw elaborate birthday parties with entertainment and gift bags. I was the one who asked for a sleepover with 2 friends and called it perfect. Our parents used to joke that they'd gotten 2 completely different children from the same gene pool. For years, this difference didn't matter. Maya planned her extravagant events. I kept my celebrations intimate, and we coexisted peacefully in our separate approaches to life, until this year. 2 weeks before my birthday, something shifted. Maya started acting strange. She'd call at odd hours, asking casual questions that felt anything but casual. "You're free that Saturday, right?" she'd ask, her voice a touch too bright, a shade too interested. "What Saturday?" I'd respond, already sensing where this was heading. "Your birthday, obviously." A pause. "Just wondering if you had plans." "Maya, you know I don't want a party." Who said anything about a party? But her laugh was nervous, guilty. "Can I just ask about my sister's birthday?" This conversation repeated itself, with variations, at least 4 times over those 2 weeks. Each time, I'd remind her, "No party, please. I want something quiet." She'd deflect, laugh it off, change the subject. The 5th time, I was more direct. "Maya, seriously. No party. I mean it." She sighed, that particular sigh that meant she thought I was being difficult. "You're no fun, Emma. You know that?" "I just know what I want." "What you want is boring." Before I could respond, she'd already hung up. To understand what happened next, you need to know about James. James and I dated for 3 years. 3 years of my mid-20s that felt, at the time, like they were building toward something. Marriage, probably. Kids, eventually. The whole traditional trajectory that society tells you is supposed to make you happy. But somewhere in year 2, I started noticing things. The way James would make decisions for us without asking my opinion. I booked us a trip to Colorado, not, "Would you like to go to Colorado?" The way he'd rearrange my schedule to fit his needs. I told my parents we'd come for dinner Tuesday, and not, "Are you free Tuesday?" Small things, at first. Easy to overlook when you love someone. Then the small things became bigger things. He started dismissing my career goals. "Marketing isn't exactly changing the world," he'd say when I talked about the promotion I was working toward. He'd make plans with my friends without telling me, then act like I was antisocial when I didn't want to go. "They're your friends, and even I make more effort with them than you do." The breakup 2 months ago was inevitable, but ugly. Not because of cheating or abuse. Nothing dramatic enough to make a clear villain. Just the slow, painful realization that I'd spent 3 years slowly erasing myself to fit into someone else's vision of who I should be. When it ended, I told everyone in my life, I need space. No contact with James, none. I need to remember who I am without him. Most people understood. Maya didn't. You're being dramatic, she'd said when I'd explained my boundary. James is a nice guy. He's been part of all our lives for years. You can't just erase him. I'm not asking you to erase him, I'd replied, keeping my voice calm. I'm asking you to respect that I need distance. For how long? I don't know. As long as I need. She'd looked at me like I was being unreasonable, like my healing was an inconvenience to her social calendar. Little did I know, she'd already decided my healing had gone on long enough. The truth came out 2 nights before my birthday, in the most mundane way possible. I was on the phone with Rachel, a mutual friend Maya and I shared from college. We were talking about nothing important, her new apartment, a show she'd been watching, whether Thai or Indian sounded better for dinner that weekend. Speaking of weekend, Rachel said, her voice casual, what are you wearing to the party Saturday? My stomach dropped. What party? There was a pause. A long, horrible pause where I could practically hear Rachel realizing her mistake. Oh God, she said. Oh no, Emma, Rachel, what party? I thought you knew. Maya said. She told everyone you were pretending not to know, but you actually did know. And we were all supposed to play along with you pretending and… Rachel. My voice was sharper than I intended. Tell me about the party. She told me everything. The party was at our parents' house. Maya had invited the whole family. Aunts, uncles, cousins I hadn't seen since last Christmas. She'd invited my coworkers from the marketing firm. She'd coordinated with at least 20 people, asking them to block off their Saturday, bring gifts, dress in garden party attire because there would be photos. There's more, Rachel said, her voice small now, apologetic. What else? But I already knew. Somehow I already knew. James is invited, Maya said. She said you two needed a chance to talk things through, in a safe environment, with people who love you both. The room tilted slightly. Or maybe I did. Emma, are you still there? I have to go, I managed. I have to call Maya. I didn't wait to calm down. Didn't take the 5 deep breaths my therapist was always recommending. Didn't rehearse what I was going to say. I called Maya immediately, and when she answered with a bright, "Hey, sis!" I could hear the guilt underneath the cheerfulness. Tell me about the party, Maya. Silence. Then, I don't know what you… Rachel told me everything, so drop the act. More silence. When she spoke again, the brightness was gone, replaced by defensiveness. Okay, fine. Yes, there's a party. And before you freak out… Before I freak out? My voice was rising. You planned an entire party after I explicitly told you I didn't want one, multiple times. You say that every year, Emma. You always say you don't want a party, and then when someone plans something small, you end up having a great time. Remember your 25th? This isn't about my 25th. This is about you ignoring what I'm telling you right now, about what I need. You don't know what you need. Her voice had taken on that older sister authority that she wielded when she wanted to end an argument. You've been moping around for 2 months. I haven't been moping. I've been healing. You've been avoiding. She was warming up now, getting into her justification. You've been hiding from your own life because you're scared. So yes, I planned a party. And yes, I invited James. Because you two need to talk this out like adults instead of you running away from… Stop! My voice came out cold, flat. Maya, listen to me very carefully. You had no right. No right to plan this party. No right to invite people without asking me. And absolutely no right to invite James when I have been crystal clear about needing space from him. Oh, come on. She was fully exasperated now. He's a nice guy, Emma. Everyone loves him. Everyone thinks you two are perfect together. 1 bad patch, and you're throwing away 3 years. It wasn't 1 bad patch. And it doesn't matter what everyone else thinks. It matters what I think, what I need. What you need, Maya said slowly, is to stop being so selfish. I have spent weeks planning this party. Your birthday, yes? But also a chance for everyone who loves you, including James, to come together. I did this out of love, Emma, from a good place in my heart, and you should be grateful. The word grateful landed like a slap. Let me make sure I understand, I said, my voice shaking now. You're ambushing me, on my birthday with a party I don't want, and an ex-boyfriend I explicitly asked to have no contact with, and I'm supposed to be grateful? You'll thank me later, Maya said with absolute certainty. When you and James work things out, when you look back at the photos, you'll thank me. Maya, everyone's already RSVP'd, Emma. Everyone has gifts. Aunt Caroline is flying in from Boston. Your coworkers asked what to bring. This is happening. So you can either show up with a smile or you can show up angry, but you're showing up. Before I could tell her exactly what I thought of her ultimatum, she hung up. I sat there, phone in my hand, rage and disbelief coursing through me in equal measure. Then I texted my best friend Sophie. Emergency. Can you talk? Her response came in seconds. Coming over. 20 minutes. Sophie arrived with wine, chocolate, and the kind of righteous fury that only a best friend can summon on your behalf. She did what? Sophie was pacing my living room, still in her scrubs from the hospital where she worked as a nurse. No, absolutely not. This is manipulative as hell. She thinks she's helping. I was curled up on my couch, wine glass in hand, trying to process what had just happened. She thinks she's helping herself, Sophie corrected. She wants you and James back together because it's easier for her. Because then her social circle stays intact, and she doesn't have to deal with the discomfort of her sister actually having boundaries. Everyone's already committed, I said quietly. Gifts, flights, time blocked off. And whose fault is that? I feel guilty. Sophie stopped pacing, sat down next to me, took my hands in hers. Emma, look at me. You told Maya multiple times that you didn't want this. You set a clear boundary. She chose to violate it. That's on her, not you. But, no buts, you are allowed to skip your own birthday party, especially when it was planned specifically to ambush you into talking to your ex. It's going to cause drama. I took a long sip of wine. What if I just didn't go? Sophie's face broke into a smile. Now you're talking. I could just turn off my phone, stay home, or no, not stay home. Maya knows where I live. She'd show up. So we leave, Sophie said immediately. Tomorrow morning we get breakfast. We go to that hiking trail you've been wanting to try. We have an actual birthday celebration. Quiet, peaceful, exactly what you want. They'll all be so mad. Let them be mad. Anyone who's actually mad at you for not attending a party you explicitly said you didn't want is telling you exactly how little they respect you. I let that sink in. Also, Sophie continued, can we talk about the absolute audacity of Maya saying you'll thank her later? Like she's some kind of romance fairy godmother instead of a control freak with boundary issues. Despite everything, I laughed. It felt good to laugh. So we're doing this? I asked. Full phone blackout. Just disappearing? We're doing this, Sophie confirmed. You're 29 years old, Emma. You get to choose how to spend your birthday, and you're choosing peace. Saturday morning dawned clear and bright, one of those perfect early autumn days where the air smells like possibility. I woke up at 7 a.m. before Maya could start her inevitable happy birthday text barrage and powered off my phone completely. Not airplane mode, not do not disturb. Off. Sophie picked me up at 8 a.m. with coffee and bagels. Happy birthday, babe, she said, handing me a vanilla latte. Ready for your day of peaceful rebellion? So ready. We drove to a small cafe 40 minutes outside the city, the kind of place with mismatched chairs and homemade pastries, and absolutely no chance of running into anyone I knew. We ate chocolate croissants and talked about everything except Maya, the party, or James. After breakfast, we hiked. 3 miles through woods that were just starting to turn gold and red at the edges. The air was crisp, the trail was empty, and for the first time in weeks, I felt like I could breathe fully. "This is nice," I said when we stopped at a viewpoint overlooking a small lake. "This is what birthdays should feel like," Sophie corrected. We had lunch at a tiny Italian place Sophie knew about. We talked about her complicated relationship with one of the doctors at the hospital. We made plans for a trip we'd been talking about for years, but never actually booking. We laughed until our stomachs hurt over a story about Sophie's cat attacking her roommate's boyfriend. Around 3 p.m., Sophie asked if I wanted to turn my phone back on. "Not yet," I said. "Let's go to that bookstore we passed. I want to get myself a birthday present." I bought 3 novels I'd been meaning to read and a fancy journal with a leather cover. Sophie bought me a candle that smelled like autumn. We went back to my apartment, ordered Thai food, and watched 2 episodes of the show we'd been binging together. At 9 p.m., Sophie looked at me seriously. "Okay, it's time. You ready?" I took a deep breath. As ready as I'll ever be. I powered on my phone. It took a full minute to load all the notifications. 87 text messages. 34 missed calls. 12 voicemails. WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook, all flooded. "Oh my God," Sophie breathed, looking at my screen. "Yeah, we started reading." Maya, "Where are you?" "Party starts in an hour." Maya, "Emma, this isn't funny. People are starting to arrive." Mom, "Sweetheart, are you okay? Maya says you're not here yet." Maya, "Are you kidding me right now?" Aunt Caroline, "Happy birthday, dear. Sad not to see you at your own party, but hope you're well." Maya, "Everyone is asking where you are. I don't know what to tell them. This is so embarrassing." Coworker Jenny, "Hey, at your party, but you're not here. Everything okay?" Maya, "You are being so incredibly selfish. Do you have any idea how many people came for you?" Dad, "Emma, please call. Your sister is very upset." Maya, Fine. Don't come. But everyone knows what you did. Everyone knows how ungrateful you are." Rachel, "Emma, I am so sorry. I didn't know this would happen. Please call me." James, "Hey, this is awkward, but I think we should talk. Call me when you get this." Maya, "You ruined everything I worked for. Everyone who came here, who brought gifts, who took time out of their day for you, and you couldn't even show up. I hope you're happy with yourself." Mom, "Emma, your sister is crying. I don't understand what happened, but please, can we talk about this?" Maya, "You made it all about you. It was supposed to be about love and family and bringing everyone together, and you made it all about your feelings, your needs. I did this from a good place in my heart. The least you could do is apologize." I read that last message 3 times. "She wants you to apologize," Sophie said flatly. "For not attending a party you explicitly said you didn't want, to avoid being ambushed by an ex you explicitly said you needed space from." The audacity is breathtaking, I agreed. But underneath the anger, I felt something else. Guilt. Because people had come. People had brought gifts. Aunt Caroline had flown in from Boston. "Hey!" Sophie grabbed my hand. "I see that face. That's your guilty face. Stop it." "But, no. You told Maya exactly what you needed. She chose to ignore it. She chose to plan this party anyway. She chose to invite all these people without your consent. The consequences of her choices are not your responsibility." "She's my sister. She's your sister who doesn't respect you." I let out a long breath. "I need to respond to some of these." "Not tonight," Sophie said firmly. "Tonight, you thank the universe for giving you a peaceful birthday despite Maya's best efforts to ruin it. Tomorrow, when you're calm and clear-headed, you can decide how to respond." She was right. As usual, we finished the Thai food, watched one more episode, and Sophie left around 11 p.m. with strict instructions to call her before responding to anyone. I lay in bed, staring at my ceiling, processing the day. I'd spent my birthday exactly how I wanted to, peaceful, quiet, with someone who actually listened to what I needed. and somehow Maya had still managed to make me feel like the villain. Sunday morning, I woke up to 3 new messages from Maya. I barely slept last night. Do you even care how much you hurt me? Everyone agrees you were in the wrong. I sat up, read them again, felt the familiar pull of guilt and obligation. Then I remembered Sophie's words. Anyone who's actually mad at you for not attending a party you explicitly said you didn't want is telling you exactly how little they respect you. I got up, made coffee, and started crafting my response. Not in anger, I'd learned that lesson in therapy, but in clarity, in boundary setting. First, to Maya. I understand you're upset, but I need you to understand something. I told you multiple times that I didn't want a party. I told you I needed space from James. You chose to ignore both of those things. The embarrassment you felt yesterday was the consequence of planning an event without the guest of honor's consent. I'm not apologizing for enforcing the boundaries I clearly communicated. When you're ready to have a conversation where my needs are respected, I'm here. Until then, I need space. Send. Then to my parents. Hi, Mom and Dad. I'm sorry Maya was upset yesterday, but I'm not sorry for my choice. I was clear about not wanting a party. Maya planned it anyway. I chose to spend my birthday in a way that felt healthy for me. I love you both and hope we can talk soon. Send. To Aunt Caroline. Aunt Caroline, I'm so sorry you flew in without knowing the full situation. Maya planned this party without my knowledge or consent. I would have loved to see you under different circumstances. Can we plan a proper visit soon? Send. To Rachel. Not your fault. Thank you for telling me. Let's get coffee this week? Send. To James, I didn't respond at all. Around noon, Maya posted on Facebook. I wouldn't have seen it. I'd muted her weeks ago. But 3 different people sent me screenshots within minutes of it going live. The post was a photo of the party setup, balloons, a banner that said, "Happy birthday, Emma," a table full of gifts. The caption read, "When you spend weeks planning the perfect surprise party for your sister, coordinate with 30 plops. If you're near 50 people, and she doesn't show up, some people don't appreciate the love in their— Oh no, what happened? That's so disrespectful. After all that work? Wow. There must be more to the story. That last comment at least gave me some hope. Sophie called immediately. Do not respond to that post. I wasn't going to. Good, because that's bait. She wants you to engage so she can play victim publicly. Should I post my own explanation? Absolutely not. That's justifying yourself to people who don't have the full context and probably don't deserve it. The people who matter, the people who actually know you, will reach out privately. Everyone else is just here for the drama. She was right. Within an hour, I had private messages from 4 coworkers, 2 college friends, and my dad, all asking for my side of the story. To each of them, I gave the same basic explanation. Maya planned a party after I explicitly said I didn't want one. She invited my ex after I clearly stated I needed space from him. I chose to enforce my boundaries. I understand it caused inconvenience for people who attended, and I'm genuinely sorry about that. But I'm not sorry for taking care of my own mental health. The responses were revealing. The people who knew me well, who'd actually witnessed my relationship with James, who'd seen me slowly disappear into people-pleasing, understood immediately. Good for you, my coworker Sarah wrote. I was at the party. James kept asking where you were, like he thought you two were getting back together. It was uncomfortable. Your sister has always been controlling, my college roommate Jess sent. Remember sophomore year when she tried to plan your entire spring break without asking you? But there were others, mostly Maya's friends, people who knew her better than they knew me, who sided with her completely. Family is everything. You should have sucked it up for one day. Your sister just wanted to do something nice for you. It's called being an adult. Sometimes you do things you don't want to do. I read each message, let them land, then chose not to engage. Sophie was right. The people who mattered already understood. 3 days later, my mom called. Your father and I would like you and Maya to come for dinner tomorrow night. We need to talk about this as a family. Mom, I don't think... Please, Emma. This has gone on long enough. You're sisters. You need to work this out. I thought about saying no. Thought about explaining again that I'd already tried to work it out by setting clear boundaries that Maya had steamrolled, but I agreed, because she was my mom, and I was tired, and part of me still hoped that maybe, in person, Maya would finally understand. Dinner at my parents' house was tense from the moment I walked in. Maya was already there, sitting at the kitchen island, her face a careful mask of hurt and righteousness. She didn't look at me when I entered. Girls, my dad said once we were all seated, we need to talk about what happened on Saturday. There's nothing to talk about, Maya said immediately. Emma ditched her own birthday party. She embarrassed me in front of everyone. That's what happened. That's not what happened, I said, keeping my voice level. Maya planned a party after I explicitly told her not to. She invited James after I explicitly asked for no contact with him. I chose not to attend an event that was designed to violate my boundaries. Boundaries, Maya scoffed. You and your boundaries. You know what boundaries really are, Emma. They're walls. They're ways to keep people out, to avoid dealing with real life. Boundaries are how I take care of myself. No. Boundaries are how you stay isolated and miserable. You've been hiding for 2 months, and I've been healing. From what? Maya's voice was rising. From a relationship that ended because you were too stubborn to compromise. James is a good guy, Emma. Everyone thinks so. But you can't see past your own... Maya! My dad's voice cut through. That's enough. Maya turned to him, eyes wide. She's the one who... I said enough. He looked at both of us. Maya, did Emma tell you she didn't want a party? A pause. Then, reluctantly, yes, but... Did she tell you she needed space from James? Another pause. Yes, but she doesn't know what she needs. She's been depressed, and... So you decided you knew better than her about what she needed? Maya's face flushed. I was trying to help. By ignoring everything she told you she needed? My mom's voice was gentle but firm. Sweetheart, I know you meant well, but Emma is an adult. She gets to decide what kind of birthday she wants. She gets to decide when she's ready to talk to James, if ever. But I worked so hard. I know you did. Mom reached across the table, took Maya's hand. And that must feel awful, to have put in all that effort and have it not go the way you planned. But Emma didn't ask you to do that work. In fact, she specifically asked you not to. Maya was crying now. Everyone thinks she's the victim. Everyone's on her side. This isn't about sides, my dad said. This is about respect. Emma set a boundary. You didn't respect it. That's the issue. So I'm the bad guy? Maya's voice was bitter. I try to bring our family together. I try to help my sister, and I'm the bad guy? I took a breath. Maya, I don't think you're a bad guy, but I do think you don't respect my choices. You think you know what's best for me better than I know what's best for myself, and that's not okay. She finally looked at me. Really looked at me. I just wanted you to be happy. I know, but happy for you looks different than happy for me, and that's okay. But you can't force your version of happy onto my life. So what now? Maya asked quietly. We just... What? Stop being sisters? No. But we need some space. I need you to understand that my boundaries aren't negotiable, and until you can respect that, I need distance. She nodded slowly, wiping her eyes. I don't know if I can give you what you want. Then I guess we both need to think about what that means. It's been 3 weeks since the party that wasn't. Maya and I haven't spoken. My parents tell me she's hurt, angry, convinced I'm being unreasonable. I'm sad about that. But I'm also clear. I can't set myself on fire to keep my sister warm. Sophie and I have started planning that trip we talked about. Portugal in the spring. We booked it last week, and I've never been more excited for something in my life. I blocked James after he tried to call me twice more. I don't owe him a conversation. I don't owe him closure. I don't owe him anything. Work is good. I got that promotion I'd been working toward, the one James used to dismiss. Turns out, when you're not spending all your energy managing someone else's ego, you have a lot more to give to your own goals. I'm thinking about getting a cat. Yesterday, Aunt Caroline called. "I'm sorry for flying in without knowing the full story," she said. "Your mother explained everything. I want you to know. I'm proud of you for standing up for yourself. I cried after that call. Good tears. This morning I got a text from Rachel. Coffee this week? I want to hear about the real birthday." I said yes. Because here's what I've learned. The people who love you will respect your boundaries. The people who don't will call you selfish for having them. And you get to choose which group you spend your energy on. 6 months later, Maya and I are talking again. Sort of, it's tentative, careful. We meet for coffee once a month and we keep the conversation surface level. She's learning to ask questions instead of making declarations about my life. I'm learning that I can love my sister and still maintain firm boundaries. It's not perfect, but it's progress. Last week was my 30th birthday. I spent it with Sophie in Portugal, drinking wine on a balcony overlooking the ocean. No party, no surprises, no drama, just peace. Maya sent me a text, "Happy birthday. Hope you're having a good day." It wasn't much, but it was respectful. I wrote back, "Thank you. I am." And I meant it. Because this quiet, intentional life I've built is exactly what I wanted. And I didn't need anyone's permission to have it. What we learn from this story is that the people who truly love you will respect your boundaries even when they don't understand them, and anyone who calls you selfish for protecting your peace is actually upset that they can no longer control you. If this story resonated with you, please subscribe. I share stories like this every week. Real situations, real emotions, real lessons about standing up for yourself, even when it's hard. And if you've ever had to choose your peace over someone else's comfort, drop your story in the comments. I read every